If you're a fan of Ewell Gibbons and love the taste of wild hickory nuts, then you're at the right place.
And who is Ewell Gibbons?
He was famous in the 60s and 70s for telling us what we could eat out in the wild. He was also the spokesperson for grape nut cereal. He would start his commercials by saying something like, "Have you ever eaten a pine tree?"
Well, today we have Kelly and Carla to help us know what works good in any yard, and much of their organic plants are edible too at Grogg's Green Barn.
This is how our grandparents used to garden, back in the 20s and 30s, before they were using chemicals. And so we're kind of taking that step back in time, but producing a healthier crop, and we found ways that we can actually increase the yield of those crops through newer things that are around that are still organic. So we opened in March of 2011, and organics was new in Oklahoma. We had one Whole Foods store at the time, and now you see, there's all kinds of different grocery stores that are organic. But it was a lot of education, a lot of education.
Where we created a business out of it was out of almost necessity for us, for our family.
We had some family tragedies with pancreatic cancer and different issues, and so my wife started making us go organic.
It was hard to find organic options when we were wanting to garden organically.
Not too many nurseries were carrying the products, and in 2009 we decided, you know what, it's time to take the leap and let's follow our dreams. And so we opened March 2011 in All Organic Garden Center.
I also emphasized a lot of sustainability and reuse of materials, and so every landscape that we do, we also do that with the plants, whether it's adding native plants which take care of themselves and help with pollination, or maybe it's edibles for your family or even for wildlife. We always intermix some of that into your landscape so that you have a nice, very low maintenance but very sustainable landscape.
So you take a desolate area that's really not doing anything for the family or doing anything for the client, and you make it alive. So you put color in using Oklahoma native plants, which we sell true Oklahoma native plants. Attracts bees and attracts butterflies and beneficial insects. So you get all the wildlife that comes to it, birds, sanctuaries, and those types of things. And then you add some edibles in there like blueberries or an okra plant, which is part of the hibiscus family, most beautiful flower ever. And so you not only create a space for the client or for the customer that's beautiful, but it's also functional. So instead of you always working for your landscape actually works for you.
So we always suggest some edibles, even if you're doing a perennial border, even in your front yard, you could do blueberry bushes instead of boxwoods and have that sort of edible mixed in, creeping thyme as a ground cover. And then as far as the natives go, if you're wanting color, things like coreopsis and coneflowers, and there's some beautiful shrubs out there that provide a lot of great pollination that don't have all of the harmful pesticides in them, that come back every year bigger and better, and that's really what our wildlife is looking for, those natives. So as part of organic gardening, instead of spraying harmful pesticides, we sell beneficial insects, ladybugs, praying mantis, worms, lacewings, that sort of thing, because they'll go to eating all of the bad bugs instead of spraying harmful pesticides on your plants. It was not part of our store in the beginning, but customer demand brought it to us, and we decided to build a coop here and have our own hens for educational purposes, and they're very easy. If you even have just 2 hens, they will lay about a dozen eggs a week for you, so you wouldn't ever have to go to the grocery store for fresh eggs.
So we do offer classes, free classes every Saturday, and there are a variety of ranges for beginner gardening, for beekeeping, for, you name it, chicken raising, backyard chickens. So whatever interests you have, we've got a class for that's free.
It is very gratifying to us to see lots of return customers and see a lot of customers that have successful gardens grown every season. So that's really satisfying and gratifying to us to know that we're helping make successful gardens for our customers.